Okay, we got to move on to special education program. The education programs you guys offer. One of it is what you do, physiotherapy. What about the others?
Okay, so like here in our center, we have different groups, right? So the infant groups, which are the babies, it's solely handled by therapists, right? So once they have once they have reached certain maturity, wherein the child has reached some level of independence, for example, when it comes to their walking or probably social skills, able to understand simple commands, then they move to bigger class, wherein we have our toddler class and the special education class. Here, it's mainly facilitated by special education teachers, but it's also supported by PTs and OTs. So both teachers and therapists work together to plan out what are the activities or maybe what are the goals that we have to set for the children.
So, and the goals and the activities is very different based on the child?
Yes, it's everything individualized. And
okay, and talking about that, the challenges that you guys face, educating a Down syndrome child, it's definitely going to be a very different experience from running a kindergarten, as per se. What are the types of things that you guys go through?
well, I guess
I know there's a lot, but
like maybe working with children, not just with children with Down syndrome or with special needs, I guess it takes a lot of your physical, mental, and sometimes your emotional being. Yeah, so yeah, physical, come on, like we crawl, we jump, we run. If we needed to be on the floor with the babies, or maybe we need to tumble with the bigger kids, so we actually do that. So it takes a lot of our energy. And then when it comes to your sometimes mental exhaustion, we also we write reports, daily reports. We have our assessments, documentations, and yeah, it takes a lot of energy. It takes your brain more than jumping, actually. Yeah, and I think on the emotional part, like especially when I first started here, like 10 years ago, when I meet parents who cry in front of me, like, you know, when they share their struggles, then I also tend to be emotional. Then I also cry in front of them. But over time, I learned to
counsel them in a such.
like, yeah, sort of. But instead of like cry with them, but I try to be a cheerer instead. Yeah. So and every day I try to tell myself, always put your feet in parents' shoes, because you know parents will always have different perspectives, and you try to walk around with it. Yeah.
And talking about parents, the roles of parents is not an easy situation for a parent. Once they know that the child has Down syndrome, what do you see the parents coming? Okay, when you started off the center, or when you first started here, do you see a difference in where people are more open to say, like, actually I need help? And do they feel like Down syndrome is not as a big issue or as a big disability as it was last time? And because you work very closely with parents, so do you see this mindset change even in the public as well, being in a center like this in Down syndrome in Malaysia?
Yes, I believe like 10 years ago, I think maximum students that we have was only about 58, 61, and now it reached into 100, more than 100. So I think that when it comes to awareness, and you know, parents are more open instead of hiding their kids inside their house. So now they seek for help. They come out and they usually come to our center. And I think even hospitals and doctors are aware as well, and they refer the babies, newborn babies, to come to our place.
And how important is, because what you do as a therapist, is it as important as what the role of the parents in educating the child?
Oh yes, of course. Like we always tell parents are still the best therapists or the best educator, and in fact they're even more than a therapist. So like I always tell parents that you don't have to, you know, like be a teacher to your child, because just be a parent. A lot of times that's the trend that I notice these days. I think parents spend a lot of time teaching their kids academic stuff and all things like that, but
not even with parents with special kids, but even normal
even
kids,
with typical children. So I think it's important to be a parent first, you know, like how you parent a typical child or any other kids. do the same thing. Spend quality time with your kids and play with them, do silly stuff, you know. So then only learning will come in.
I think, yeah, being a parent and making the child comfortable with the parent is more important than actually telling them or educating them or becoming
Yeah.
your academic part of that relationship. All right, I understand. That's wonderful. Okay, we have to look at, maybe you can share with us the Down syndrome kids who have maybe moved on from this center. Is there any success stories?
Okay, so I've only been here for like 10 years.
That's a long time, 10 years by the way.
So not that I know a lot, but then those ex-students that I have handled before, I have this one kid. I'm actually quite surprised. He has already graduated from our center, like few years, and then I saw him in the mall, and he still recognizes me. Yeah, like, hey, Teacher Joy, like, you know. So it's actually a joy for me. Like many of our children, once they graduate, they usually forget about us, or you know, they have different things. But
So
I can see.
how old was he when he graduated?
Usually they graduate at the age of 6. So I think
Okay.
I saw this kid when he was already 10. Yeah, and he
okay.
still remembers. Yeah, and he conversed quite well, and according to the mom homeschools the child, and then he also do some outdoor activities, things like that. Yeah.
So, what do you feel when you find that, even like when you see your student after 4 years and they can still converse properly, do you feel a sense of relief, and do you think that this actually makes them ready to take on the world and things like that?
Oh yes, of course. Like, you know, like whatever success or whatever achievement they have is also an achievement for us. Yeah. So, and yeah, we also have other ex-students actually who are employed with paid jobs. They work in the hotel, restaurants, and we even have some who are artists. He paints and then he sells his paintings to the public. Yeah.
So, can it be said that Down syndrome is something that just holds a child back, maybe for a bit, but end of the day they can still make something of themselves when they grow up?
Yes, of course. Like, yes, like I said just now, it takes time for them to get there. It takes a lot of patience, a lot of effort, a lot of encouragement to the kids and also the parents, but they will get there. You know, I always tell the parents, they will get there. We just have to be patient. Yeah, and yeah, we have to encourage them more.
Yeah. And they can look forward to a bright future.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Joy, so much for joining us today, and thank you for watching. We'll be back right after this. We are going to be talking to a parent who has gone through having a Down syndrome child. Let's hear from them from their perspective. This is Health Matters with me, Dishan Kumar.